Welcome to Vietnamese Ghost Stories. For international audiences, we adapt some Vietnamese names into English for easier listening. For example, Dung becomes Daniel, Mai becomes Lily. And now, let us begin tonight's terrifying tale. Episode 11. The Vengeful Serpent Spirits. At the foot of an old mountain lay a village that had stood for centuries, surrounded by thick forests and streams. Generations of villagers told of two sacred serpents dwelling in a cave. Whenever drought struck, the serpents slithered down to the water, leaving shimmering scales on the ground. And soon after, rains would fall. The people believed these creatures were guardians and built a shrine to honor them. But one year, the drought was so severe the earth cracked, crops died, and livestock perished. In desperation, 5 men conspired to kill the serpents, convinced that their blood could cure disease and their skins could be sold for food. That night they hid near the cave. When the serpents emerged, raising their colossal heads to the moon, the men struck with machetes. Blood sprayed across the stones, and the serpents' agonized hisses echoed through the mountains. From that night, disaster struck the village. Children died mysteriously. Adults wasted away from strange illness, and the 5 men who had wielded the blades all perished. Their corpses blue, swollen, their eyes bulging, tongues protruding. The villagers whispered that the sacred serpents had become vengeful spirits, cursed to return and punish. Years later, when the legend was fading, 2 archaeology students, Daniel and Lily, came to the village to investigate. They had heard rumors of recent deaths, people suffocating in their sleep, hunters vanishing in the forest. On their first night, Lily awoke to see 2 glowing red eyes staring through the window. A hiss crawled into her ears. Trembling, she shook her friend. "Daniel, something's out there." Daniel turned on his flashlight, but found only darkness. He forced calm into his voice. "Probably just an animal. Try to sleep." Yet deep inside, he felt a chill, heavy as stone. The next day, they found the cave, its entrance draped in moss. On the ground glittered fragments of enormous scales, sharp and metallic, throwing painful light into their eyes. That night, during a village gathering, an old man warned, "Every year, on this very night, someone dies. It is the price for our ancestors' sins." Even as he spoke, a scream shattered the air. They rushed to find a young man dead, body twisted, eyes wide, tongue lolling, 2 enormous fang marks imprinted on his neck. Panic seized the village. Doors slammed shut, prayers spilled from trembling lips. That night, the ground shook and the wind roared. 2 monstrous forms slithered from the forest, bodies as long as houses, scales glowing crimson, eyes burning. They hissed, their stench suffocating. One serpent coiled around a house, crushing until the roof exploded, and the screams inside ended in silence. Lily shrieked. Daniel dragged her, but the road stretched endlessly, the serpents following close behind. A child stumbled, her mother wailed, and a serpent lunged, jaws wide. Daniel hurled a flaming torch. Fire licked the beast's scales, and it thrashed, its tail smashing wooden posts like twigs. The second serpent circled Lily, its eyes glowing with hunger. She collapsed, paralyzed. Daniel held her hand, trembling, powerless against such monstrous strength. In that desperate moment, the village's last surviving shaman appeared, raising a talisman. "These are the sacred spirits. Only through atonement can their wrath be broken," he shouted. He commanded Daniel, Lily, and the villagers to prepare a ritual in the courtyard. Drums pounded, gongs clanged, incense filled the air, firelight flickered across terrified faces. The serpents coiled around the hall, their eyes blazing, their hisses deafening. The shaman drove talismans into the earth, chanting ancient words. With each strike, the serpents writhed, their roars shaking the ground. Finally, with the last talisman, a blinding light burst forth. The serpents shrieked, twisting violently, then exploded into black smoke that spiraled into the sky. Silence fell. Villagers wept in relief. Daniel and Lily collapsed, hearts hammering. The shaman, gasping for breath, warned, "The curse has weakened, but it is not gone. Remember this: divine wrath is never so easily forgiven." From that day, the villagers rebuilt the shrine and offered incense. Daniel and Lily left, carrying the nightmare in their minds. On their final night, as the wind swept through the mountains, they heard a whisper riding the air. "We are still watching." This story has come to an end. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Vietnamese Ghost Stories to support us in bringing you more terrifying tales. Thank you, and see you next time. This story has come to an end. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe to Vietnamese Ghost Stories, and leave a comment to share your thoughts and support future episodes.